A warm welcome to all the students for this lecture. Today we are going to see a concept which is called as extended transition function. Now, we have already seen DFAs, we have also drawn some number of DFAs. So, in DFA, okay, let's say M is a DFA. What are the elements of DFA? One is Q. Q is set of all the finite states in the DFA. Sigma is what? It is the input alphabet, that is the input set of symbols, that is alphabet set that is given as input to the automata, sigma. Then what is Q naught? Q naught happens to be the start state. What is A? A happens to be the set of final states, and del is a transition function. So let's say M equal to Q sigma Q naught A del be a DFA. Okay. Now, what is first we will see what is the problem that we have with the normal transition function. So, a transition function is defined as del of Q cross sigma gives Q, which simply means that it is nothing but a cross product of any state over an input symbol, and when that happens, okay, what you get is resultant state Q, right? So just to understand what transition function is, let us take a simple example. Suppose the set of states that we have is Q1, Q2, let's say only two states, assuming that Q2 is the final state, and suppose the alphabet set over which this particular DFA is defined is A comma B. Then how will you define the transition functions for this particular DFA whose set of states is Q1, Q2, whose alphabet set is A and B? Assume that the final state here is Q2 and initial state, as you know, is Q naught only. We are going to now define what are the transitions. So transition is nothing but it is the cross product of the set Q and sigma. Now when I say cross product, first it will have Q1 comma A, then it will have Q1 comma B, right? Now Q1 is over, then we will have Q2 comma A, and then we will have Q2 comma B. So this is how the cross product is defined. So what is a transition function? Basically transition functions are the input to that is a cross product of each state over each input. So we have each state and each input. Okay. Now what the transition function gives as output? The resultant state to which the automata moves. For example, from Q1 on reading A it goes to say Q2. From Q1 on reading B it goes to Q1 itself. Assume that from Q2 on reading A it goes to Q2 itself, and from Q2 on reading B also it goes to Q2 itself. Okay, so the automata that I am talking about is, assume that it is this, around the two states Q1, Q2. We have said that Q2 is the final state, Q1 is the initial state. Then Q1 on reading A it goes to Q2. Q1 on reading B it remains in Q1 itself, and Q2, whether it is A which is read or B which is read, it goes to Q2 itself. So, but this is the finite automata, these are the transition function. Now can you figure out any shortcoming of this transition function? See, we have already seen that the finite automatas, they don't have auxiliary memory. As a result, if the input given to this particular automata is a big string, for example, if the input given is say A, B, B, the automata will not be able to remember this string. Now, so if the automata cannot remember the whole input string, then how does it still processes the particular string? Okay, so it does it by transition. So what transition function does? Suppose the input given here is A, B, B, B. Okay. So transition function is going to first find out that from the start state Q0 on reading A, the first symbol, where does it go? Q1 on reading A, it goes to Q2, right? So then it is going to find out now on reading A, I am already present in Q2 state. Now from state Q2 on reading the next input B, where does it go? Okay, from Q2 on reading B, it remains in Q2, and so on. So this transition function will be defined how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times for this entire string. Okay, so the drawback, so in short, the drawback of the transition function that we have is that at a time the transition function can read only one symbol of the input string. It cannot read the entire string. It takes one symbol of an input string at a time and does the calculation. So if the length of the string is 7, the transition function will have to be called 7 times. Every time each symbol it will take, and it will tell you what is the next resultant state and so on. Okay, so at the end of say, suppose the length here is 6, then at the end of the 6th transition you will come to know whether the string is accepted or rejected. Okay, so this is a drawback of a normal transition function. Now, it would have been nice if the transition function was defined in such a way that instead of taking one symbol of an input string at a time, okay, it would have been nice if the transition function, right, starting with the state Q0, if it was able to take the entire string, say AB, ABB, if it was able to take the entire string and not by taking each symbol in it, if it would have been nice if the transition function was able to take the entire string at a stretch, and in one shot it gives you answer whether this string is accepted or rejected based on the states that it landed in. Okay, so it would have been nice if the transition function was modified in such a way that at a stretch it takes the entire input string together, and in that one go itself it tells whether the given string is accepted or rejected based on which target state your automata reaches at the end. Okay, so this modification to the normal transition function, okay, is called as extended transition function, the topic for my today's lecture. So let's start. So definition: let M equal to Q sigma Q0 A del be a DFA. Then we define the extended transition function. Delta star Q cross sigma star implies Q as follows. For any Q belonging to Q, delta star of any state on reading null gives you that state. If the input string is greater than if the length of the input string is greater than 1, say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then this formula will be applicable. So for any Q, for any state Q, for any A, single symbol in the alphabet set, and for any Y, that is a string in the alphabet set, delta star of Q comma Y A, Y is the first part and A is that last one symbol, last element, one element in the given string, can be written as delta star of Q comma Y comma A. Then we have to find out what is this and so on. Recursively we have to find this out. Okay. So let us start with solving a problem that will clear our doubts on extended transition function. Here we have an automata in front of us. Okay, and we have to suppose find out what is delta star of Q0 on reading a string, let's say 110. Okay, so remember there are two formulas that we have just seen. Okay, extended transition function, delta star from any state Q on reading null string gives you Q itself, and delta star from any state Q on reading a bigger length string, say YA, can be written as delta star of Q comma Y comma A. Always remember this formula I will use when the input string's length is 1 or more than 1, and you will use this formula when input string is null. Okay, and now let us solve this problem with this knowledge. Now the input string that is given to us is 110. What is the length of this string? It is definitely not null. It is more than 1, right? So we will use this formula. Now in this formula, q is nothing but q naught. 110 is the string y. Now what is y? I told you what is y. Y belonging to sigma star. That means y is some string whose length is more. Whereas what is a? Definition says a belongs to sigma. That means a is string of length 1. It's a single symbol. Okay. So ya means the first half of the string will be y, and last one element last will be considered as a. So that is ya. And now I will use the formula. So this can be then written as delta star of, okay, q naught comma y will be 1 okay, comma q comma y comma a is 0 in this case. Simple. Next we need to find out what is delta star of q naught comma 1. So we need to find out what is delta star of q naught comma 1. So delta star of q naught comma 1, again the string here, its length is more than 1. So which formula? The second formula we are going to use. So q comma ya. So now here the length of the string is 2. So the last element here will be a, and whatever is there before this last element, that entire thing will be y. Now there is only one symbol here, 1. So y will be 1, a will be also 1. So with that, this can be written as delta star of q naught comma y, that is 1, comma a, that is 1, right? So this can be written as delta star of q naught comma y, that is 1, and outside close the bracket, and this 1 will come at the end. Okay, now besides this, whatever elements are there, the remaining elements, I'm just going to write it as it is here. So outside this you have a comma, you have 0, and you have a bracket, whereas this side there is an opening bracket and you have del symbol. Fine. So next we have to now find out what is delta star of q naught comma 1. You have to find out what is delta star of q naught comma 1. Okay, again the length of the string here, is it null? No, the length is not 0, length is 1. So again this formula. But note that now since the length of the string is 1, the last element a in this case will be 1. So this is a. Then what will be y? Whatever is before this a will be y. Now there is nothing before this 1. There is only one element, right? There is nothing preceding this one. So that's why y in this case will be null and a will be 1. Okay. So then this can be written as delta of, this can be further written as delta star of q naught comma y. Now in this case y will be null, comma a, that is 1, will be written outside. So what I have written here is the definition of only this part. Now outside this, whatever terms are there, I am going to write as it is. So comma is there, 1 is there, bracket is there, again comma is there, 0 is there, bracket is there. This side you have an opening bracket, you have del, again a bracket, and you have del. Yes. So far it is okay. Finally we are going to now find out what is delta star of q naught comma null. So this can be written as, now see, the input string is null. So which formula? I don't have to go to this formula. I will have to use this formula. And it clearly tells you delta star of any input string, delta star from any state on reading null string gives you q itself. So the answer to this will be delta star of q naught on null give you q naught itself. Right? So answer of this is q naught. And then whatever is there besides it, I am just going to copy as it is. So you have comma, you have 1 here, closing bracket, this comma, 1, bracket, comma 0. You have to be very careful while copying the brackets and the numbers, because if there is a mismatch you will not get the answer. You have to be very careful. Then this part is Q0, then bracket, opening bracket is there, then this delta I will write, this closing bracket, this delta I will write, this closing bracket, and finally this delta is there. So this is, so you have to go on recursively getting the values of delta star of q comma y till delta star is there. Now the moment delta star of q comma null is encountered, delta star is gone, because in this there is nowhere delta star appears. Now these are all the normal transition functions. So when the extended transition functions finally lost and you have only the deltas remaining here, it is now very clear. You have to just refer the figure and find out which are the states where you land in. Okay, so now you start from the innermost bracket. So let us first find out what is delta of q0 comma 1. Remaining part I am going to write as it is. Okay, so delta of q0 comma 1. So now see the diagram. Q0 on reading 1, where it goes? It goes to q2. So the answer of this is q2. Yes, the remaining part you write as it is. So there is a comma here, there is 1 here, there is a closing bracket, then there is comma, then there is 0, and then there is a closing bracket. From this side there is a opening bracket, then there is del, then there is a opening bracket again, there is del here. Fine. So then we find out what is delta of q2 on 1. So q2 on 1, again referring to the figure, q2 on reading 1 goes to q2 itself. So the answer of this will be q2. Okay, and to the right hand side there is a comma after q2, then there is 0 and there is a closing bracket, whereas to the left hand side there is an opening bracket and there is delta. So this entire thing gets reduced to delta of q2 on 0. Now looking at the figure, you can easily see that q2 on 0 goes to q4. Now, so you have reached q4, resultant state. Now, is the resultant state also the final state? Is q4 the final state? Yes. And that's why the extended transition function here has concluded that this particular entire input string is accepted, because the state that we are landed finally is a final state. So this is how the extended transition function works. So now after defining the extended transition function, it is bit natural that you will think what is the use of this extended transition function. Okay, extended transition function helps us to define something called as acceptance by finite automata. What do you mean by acceptance or recognition by the finite automata? Also, later on, after we see that the second kind of automata, that's called as non-deterministic finite automata, we will come up with a proof that says if there exists NFA, non-deterministic finite automata, accepting or recognizing a particular language, then there should exist an equivalent deterministic finite automata that also recognizes that same language. This proof will be also built upon the basic idea of extended transition function. So now, before I conclude this session, let us see what do you mean by acceptance by finite automata. So let M equal to Q sigma Q0 A del be a finite automata. A string X belonging to sigma star is said to be accepted by this automata M if delta star of q0 comma x gives you A. So I will explain you this. Suppose M is a finite automata, DFA, that is given to us. Then we say a given string X belonging to sigma star. Again see, X belonging to sigma star means X will be a string. It won't be a I mean the string can be null, or the string can have length 1, length 2 till length n, and any combination of the symbols from the alphabet say. So whenever I say sigma star, it means it's not a single symbol. X is not a single symbol. It can be also, but it need not be a single symbol. It is basically a string formed from maybe a string that can vary from length 0, 1, 2 till n. Okay. So a string X is said to be accepted by the machine M if transition function starting from the state Q0, when this entire string X is given as input, okay, the extended transition function lends you to a state such that that state belongs to A. And what is A? A is, we already know what is A. A is set of all the finite, all the accepting states. So if extended transition function after taking that full string, okay, gives you a resultant state that belongs to A or accepting state, then we say that the string is accepted by the finite automata. If the string is not accepted, then we say that it is rejected by M. Okay. The language accepted or recognized by M, that is machine, finite automata, is the set L of M. So the language accepted or recognized by machine M is written as L of M. That means the language is recognized by M. Okay. Now what is this set? Okay. So it is basically a set wherein every element X is a string such that X is accepted by M. A very important result that we are going to use now. If L is any language over sigma, suppose L is any known regular language over sigma, we say that this language L is accepted or recognized by M if L is equal to L of M. So keep this particular statement in the mind so that later on when we are going to write the proofs, okay, this statement will be very handy. So that's all for this lecture.